You're hungry. You're in China and right now.
Your wallet feels useless. She tests it, but she's still digging for change. Your Visa. She just shakes her head. Then she points at the wall. Two QR codes. One blue, one green. Alipay, WeChat Pay.
You only have time to set up one before your flight. So which one? In the next 10 minutes, I'll put them head to head across 5 rounds. By the end, you'll know exactly which app to set up first, the biggest mistake most travelers make, and the one scenario where only one of them actually works. Let's go.
Hey, 你好, I'm Mr. Panda, your local friend in China. I live here. I use both apps every single day. So today, we stay here once for all.
Real quick, what do these two apps have in common? Same core idea. You scan a QR code, you pay. No fumbling with cash, no card swipe. Both support major international cards. Visa and MasterCard work most reliably. JCB, Discover, American Express, and Union Pay may also work depending on the app and your bank. Both work at taxis, restaurants, shops, hotels, and public transport in most Chinese cities. So if they do the same thing, what's actually different? 5 rounds. Here we go. Round 1. Setting up the apps and linking your cards. This is where most first-time travelers get stuck before they even land. So let me save you the headache. Both apps need 3 things: your passport, your face, your card. And one rule applies to both. The name on all 3 should match as closely as possible. Same spelling, same order, no nicknames, no middle name dropped. This is the #1 reason verification fails. Fix this before you download anything. Now, the differences. Alipay is the smoother experience. You download the app, register with your phone number, switch to the international version, verify your passport, add your card. 2 clean steps in order. The English interface is polished. It's clearly built with foreign tourists in mind. WeChat Pay is trickier. The setup is bundled together, so it feels a little hidden. But here's the bigger catch. Sometimes WeChat asks a new account to be verified by an existing WeChat user. A real person has to scan a QR code for you. If you don't know anyone in China yet, this can become a real wall. There are workarounds. Turn off your VPN. Look for the verify via payment card option, or ask hotel staff once you land. Round 1 verdict, Alipay wins. Smoother flow, cleaner English, no friend verification trap. Round 2, real world coverage. Where can you actually pay with each app? In big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Chengdu, both apps work almost everywhere. Big chains, small shops, taxis, street food, hotels. You'd have to actively look for a place where only one works. But here's the pattern I see every week. WeChat Pay is slightly stronger at tiny street vendors, mom and pop shops, and individual sellers. Why? Because everyone in China already uses WeChat for messaging, so accepting payment is just one tap away for them. Alipay tends to dominate at supermarkets, chain stores, transportation apps, and online shopping. Taobao, Hema, McDonald's, Starbucks, train tickets, flight bookings, that's Alipay's home turf. For a regular traveler, you'll almost never see one app accepted and the other rejected. But on that rare day a payment fails, and it will happen at least once in a real trip, that's when having both apps saves your entire afternoon. Round 2 verdict? It's a tie. They cover slightly different ground, which is exactly why you want both. Round 3, fees and limits. This is the round where you actually save money. Both apps follow the famous 200 Yuan rule. Single transactions under 200 RMB, about $28 US, are usually free of app service fees. Above that, a 3% service fee may apply on the entire transaction. So if you spend 199 Yuan, no fee. If you spend 201 Yuan, the fee can kick in on the whole amount. Pro tip: you can politely ask the merchant to split the bill into 2 payments under 200 each. Many small restaurants will say yes. Bigger chains with strict POS systems might not. But at a local diner, totally worth a try. Policies and promotions can change, so always check the current rate inside the app before any big payment. Now, limits. As of early 2026, WeChat Pay typically caps single foreign card transactions around 6,000 yuan. Alipay's limits are usually higher, but these numbers can change, and they may depend on your verification level, your card type, and sometimes even your bank. For normal meals, taxis, and daily shopping, both apps are usually more than enough. For bigger payments like luxury items, electronics, or fancy hotels, Alipay generally handles big single transactions more comfortably. But always confirm inside the app before any large purchase. Round 3 verdict. Alipay edges ahead on big purchases. For everyday spending, basically a tie. Round 4, the actual payment moment. Both apps work two ways. You scan the merchant, or the merchant scans you. At big places like 7-Eleven, Starbucks, and supermarkets, the merchant scans you. Open the app, show your payment code, done. At small places like street food, taxis, and local diners, you scan them. Open the app, hit scan. Point at the QR code. Type the amount, confirm, done. Here's the speed difference. Alipay puts the payment code right on the home screen. Clean, fast. WeChat Pay's payment code is one extra tap deep, inside the chat app. For pure payment speed, Alipay feels quicker. For familiarity, if you're already chatting with your hotel or guide on WeChat, paying inside the same app feels more natural. Round 4 verdict. Alipay, by a small margin. Round 5. What else can these apps actually do? This is the fun round. Alipay is a true super app. Inside it, you can book high-speed rail, hail a Didi, order food delivery, find hotels, even translate menus with your camera in real time. The English version has a tourist mode, packed with city guides, metro QR codes, and transport services in most major Chinese cities. For a foreign traveler, Alipay is basically a Swiss Army knife. WeChat Pay lives inside WeChat, China's main messaging app. And here's something most travel videos miss. When you book a hotel, the front desk will often add you on WeChat to send your check-in info. When you book a tour or a private guide, communication happens on WeChat. Local friends, drivers, shop owners, they all use WeChat. Not WhatsApp, not iMessage, WeChat. So WeChat isn't just a payment app, it's how China actually talks. And once WeChat is on your phone, WeChat Pay is already inside. WeChat also has mini programs for restaurant orders, taxis, and translation. They're scattered and the English support varies, but for daily life, it's part of how things actually work. Round 5 verdict. Alipay wins for travel and convenience. WeChat wins for communication and local life. You need both. There's no real way around it. So after 5 rounds, which one should you use? Honest answer? Both. But if you can only set up one before your flight, start with Alipay. Easier, smoother. Real tourist-friendly English mode. No friend verification trap. Once you land, set up WeChat Pay as your local life tool, because you're going to need WeChat for messaging anyway. Now, before we finish, let me save you some real pain. Here are the 5 biggest mistakes I see foreign travelers make. Mistake 1. Waiting until you land in China to set up. SMS codes can be unreliable abroad. Set up at home, on your couch on stable Wi-Fi. Don't do this at the airport. Mistake 2. Not calling your bank before you fly. A 2-minute call telling them, "I'm going to China," prevents most of the random declined card headaches. This one is free and it works. Mistake 3. Bringing only one card. Foreign banks sometimes flag China transactions as suspicious. If possible, bring at least one backup card. You don't want one declined card to stop your whole trip. Mistake 4. Keeping your VPN on during payment. Your VPN can trigger the app's risk control and cause the payment to fail. Turn it off before you tap pay. Turn it back on after. Mistake 5. Using a card with high foreign transaction fees. A no-fee travel card saves you your bank's foreign currency fee. That's a separate charge from any Alipay or WeChat service fee. Over a 2-week trip, this really adds up. Do these 5 things and you'll skip 90% of the problems other travelers run into. Screenshot time. Here's your complete pre-trip checklist. Before you fly, install Alipay. Link your foreign card. Pass passport verification. Install WeChat. Link your card inside wallet. Verify your passport. If possible, bring at least one backup credit card. Carry around 500 yuan in cash, just in case. Call your bank before you board. When you land, turn off your VPN before paying. Test both apps with a small purchase. A bottle of water at any 7-Eleven works. Set this up before your flight, not after you land. Your future self will thank you at the airport taxi line. Now that you know which app to use when, the next step is to actually set them up. I have full step-by-step tutorials on Alipay and WeChat Pay linked right here. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe. And in the comments, tell me, which app did you try first and how did it go? I'm Mr. Panda. See you in China. 谢谢.